Imagine walking into a crowded auction house. The air is thick with dust and the murmur of anxious voices. Around you, dozens of animals wait quietly, each carrying a story of hope and fear. Amid the noise, the restless energy, and the waiting, a young boy's eyes fall on something that stops his heart. A service dog, once full of strength and purpose, now weak, hurting and barely holding on. This is not just a story about saving a dog, it is a story of courage and love. It is about the incredible bond that forms when one kind soul reaches out to help another in desperate need. When the boy sees the dog suffering and decides to take action, he sets in motion a journey that will change both their lives forever. Today, you will hear every detail of that unforgettable day. You will follow the boy as he faces fear, doubts, and difficult choices. You will witness the challenges they overcome together and the hope that grows from the darkest moments. This story is a powerful reminder of how kindness, even from one person, can make a world of difference. Stay with us, because what comes next will truly touch your soul. This is a story about second chances, healing, and the unbreakable bond between a boy and a service dog who both needed saving. The boy in this story is named Jake. From a very young age, Jake showed a deep love for animals. Unlike many kids his age who enjoyed games and toys, Jake's happiest moments were spent with dogs, cats, and birds he found in his neighborhood. His parents often noticed how gently he treated every creature, no matter how big or small. For Jake, animals weren't just pets. They were friends, companions, and sometimes even heroes. Growing up, Jake learned about service dogs, special dogs trained to help people with disabilities. He was fascinated by their intelligence and loyalty. Whenever he heard stories about dogs saving lives, guiding someone who couldn't see, or comforting those who were scared, Jake dreamed of one day helping such a dog himself. He believed every animal deserved kindness and a chance at happiness. Jake's compassion wasn't just about love, it was about action. Even as a child, he would bring food and water to stray animals, help neighbors care for their pets, and volunteer at local animal shelters. His heart was big, and his determination to make a difference was stronger than most adults. This caring spirit would soon lead him to an auction house where fate was waiting to change his life forever. The auction house was nothing like Jake had imagined. It was loud, chaotic, and filled with tension. Rows of cages lined the walls, each holding animals waiting for someone to bid on them. The air smelled of dust, fear, and uncertainty. Dogs and other animals looked around with tired eyes, some trembling, others silent, but clearly worn down by the ordeal. This was a place where many hopeful stories began, but for some, it was a last chance, sometimes their only chance, to find safety and love. Jake's heart ached as he walked past each cage. He could feel the pain and exhaustion in the animals' eyes. Many were service dogs, once powerful helpers trained to support people with disabilities. Now many had been abandoned, surrendered, or retired, left to face this auction as strangers judged their fate. The contrast between their past noble work and their current helpless state was shocking. As Jake moved through the crowded room, he saw volunteers trying to comfort the animals, but the harsh reality was clear. The auction was a place of desperation. Bids came and went quickly. Some dogs found new homes, but many remained, waiting for a chance that might never come. This setting was heavy with emotions. Hope mingled with sadness, and kindness mixed with neglect. It was here, in this heartbreaking place, that Jake's journey truly began. As Jake's eyes scanned the crowded cages, something caught his attention. A small, trembling figure huddled in the far corner. It was a service dog, but unlike the others, this one looked near death. His coat was dull and matted, ribs showing through his thin frame. His eyes were barely open, filled with pain and exhaustion. The dog's breathing was shallow, and his whole body seemed too weak to hold up. Jake felt a sharp pang in his chest. This wasn't just any dog. It was a hero who had once helped someone live a better life. Now, abandoned and forgotten, he lay on the cold floor of the auction cage, fighting for every breath. The boy knelt down beside the cage, reaching out gently, though he knew the dog was too weak to respond. Tears filled Jake's eyes as he whispered words of comfort, promising that he would do everything in his power to save him. The moment was powerful and heart-wrenching. Jake realized this dog needed more than just a new home. He needed immediate care and love. But rescuing a dog in such fragile condition was not easy. It would take courage, patience, and a lot of hard work. Still, Jake's determination never wavered. This was the dog he was meant to save. Standing there in front of the weak service dog, Jake's heart raced with a mix of fear and determination. He knew rescuing this dog wouldn't be simple. The dog's condition was worse than he had imagined, and the auction rules made it difficult to act quickly. Many people had their eyes on other animals, but Jake's focus was unwavering. He thought about the dog's life, how many people had already let him down, how many times he had been passed over and forgotten. The boy's mind filled with questions. Would he have the strength to help this dog? Could he provide the care the dog desperately needed? Was he ready to take on this huge responsibility? Despite these doubts, Jake felt something stronger inside. A powerful call to act. He couldn't turn away, not when a life hung in the balance. With steady hands and a brave heart, he decided to bid for the dog. It wasn't about winning an auction. It was about saving a soul. He raised his hand and made the offer, silently promising the dog he would never leave him behind. That moment marked the beginning of a journey filled with challenges and hope, a journey where courage would meet love, and two lives would find strength in each other. The following days were filled with visits to the veterinarian, where the true extent of the service dog's injuries and illnesses became clear. The dog, whom Jake named Max, needed immediate medical attention. The vet explained that Max was severely dehydrated, suffering from infections, and malnourished. Each treatment was delicate, requiring careful monitoring and constant care. Jake stayed by Max's side through every appointment, learning how to administer medications, clean wounds, and provide the nutrition Max desperately needed. Some days were better than others, but progress was slow. The dog's pain was evident, and there were moments when hope seemed distant. Still, Jake's unwavering dedication never faltered. Together, they formed a routine, a schedule of feeding, medication, gentle exercise, and rest. Gradually, Max's strength began to return. His eyes grew brighter, his breathing steadier. The bond between boy and dog deepened, fueled by trust and love. Every small improvement was a victory, reminding them both that healing was possible. This chapter of their story was about resilience and the power of care to mend even the deepest wounds. After the initial medical treatments, Max's journey toward recovery began in earnest. Each day brought small victories and challenges. At first, Max could barely lift his head or wag his tail, but with Jake's constant care and patience, the dog started showing signs of strength. Slowly, his eyes began to sparkle with life again, and his body grew steadier. Jake celebrated every tiny step, whether it was Max taking a few more steps, eating a bit more food, or simply responding to a gentle touch. The bond between Jake and Max grew deeper every day. It was no longer just about rescue or medical care. It became a connection based on trust, love, and friendship. Jake would sit beside Max, telling him stories, sharing his dreams, or just being there in silence. Max seemed to understand that he was no longer alone or forgotten. This companionship healed more than just physical wounds. It healed hearts. As Max regained strength, Jake introduced gentle exercise routines, encouraging the dog to move and rebuild muscle. Some days were frustrating. Max sometimes stumbled or refused to move, but Jake never gave up. He learned to read Max's needs and limits, knowing when to push gently and when to offer comfort. Together they worked through pain and fear, forming an unbreakable team. Months passed, and Max's progress amazed everyone. With physical therapy, proper nutrition, and constant love, Max was able to walk on his own again, though cautiously and with some lingering stiffness. The first time Max walked freely in the backyard after so long was a moment Jake would never forget, a symbol of hope and triumph. Though Max could never return fully to his service dog duties due to his health, Jake knew that Max's life had meaning beyond his past role. He was a survivor, a friend, and a symbol of courage. Their story showed that every life matters, no matter how broken or battered. The rescue changed Jake as much as it changed Max. The boy who once dreamed of helping, others now understood the true depth of sacrifice and love. Caring for Max taught him patience, empathy, and strength he didn't know he had. Max, in turn, found safety and love for the first time in a long while. The scars on his body were visible, but his spirit shone brighter than ever. Their bond became a source of comfort for both, a reminder that healing is possible with kindness and care.